The insanity is coming to an end, and maybe time-wise, maybe not as quickly as we'd like, but I want to share something with you that this huge veil, I'm going to explain what the veil is. I'm going to tell you what the insanity is. This is going to make perfect sense to you because I'm going to use an analogy that's going to hopefully bring an epiphany to you, that you're going to realize that you have to step out of the insanity. It's possible. You can shift right now. That's how quick this is happening. And we are going to New World. I'm going to explain the 2050 and 2060 remote viewing projections. Of course, all this can change, but there are really positive ones that exist right now, okay? I'm going to share that with you, but I want to share with you how you can step out of the matrix veil. What is it? It's not punishment. It's chosen. It's an experience. Let's go into that beautiful space because everything has divine purpose. I promise you that. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. Oops, I just want to share with you, please subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more you're saying yes to positive messages. You'll never get anything negative from me. Why? Because we are in control of a reality, and I'm creating a positive reality with these messages. And if you choose to believe these things, you will do the same. So it's a choice. It's not this is right and this is wrong and you're sticking your head in the sand. My question to you is, where are you sticking your head? It didn't sound right. If you're thinking negatively, it's probably not in a very nice place. And so why is that reality any less real than mine? And this is what we're going to talk about today, because the veils are coming down. Actually, we're poking holes in it. We chose a veil. We chose to put the coat on, to put the blankets on, to put the whatever. And we chose to stay into this, what we thought was going to be a cozy place, an experience that was going to take us into something really amazing. And it is, and it can. All right, we chose it. And there's no punishment. There's no power that can take over you. You can't lose your power. Nobody takes over anything. It's just ridiculousness unless you believe it. You can create that. That's why some people die and they go to hell. I hope that you will read my book. I pitch this on every video. Why? Because it was a download. It was something I worked on night and day, literally. Sometimes I slept 2 hours, 3 hours at the most to write this, and I was told, I have clear audience, I was told this has to come out now. And so I got really pushed to write it, and the information came down, and I actually have never read the book. I know, because I already know these things. And what it does is it tells you exactly what's happening right now, why we're past the tipping point, we're in the tipping point, and what the knowing is, and you can go into the knowing. What is the knowing? You stop asking questions. We're one. That's it. I really mean this. We are one. No more insanity. What does it mean? If you were in a mental institution and you knew there was nothing wrong with you, everybody else would seem perfectly normal. You would probably actually start to go insane yourself. This is no different. And so those people believe in their illusions just as much as you do that you're sane. Yeah, that's how it's working. They see people, they believe things, they have, all kinds of delusions and illusions and all these things that go on is real to them. And that is real. But if you spent any period of time or lived in there, you would turn into an insane person yourself, because you would distort who you are, because that would be your reality then, is everybody was crazy, right? Insanity. We're stepping outside of the insane asylum. And it's okay if these people believe that, because it is their reality. But you now can create a completely different one. We're now recognizing, I want you to think about this, because when we actually think about it, it sounds so insane. We're in a world that allows people to make things that harm others and are poisonous. to make money. All right? We live in a world that allows us to use chemicals to kill things so that we can what? Not have weeds, because we don't value life or the one source that we are. That means if I'm killing something, it goes into the whole source. If you kill an ant, if you kill whatever it is, it's going into our system. It is in our world. It's not separate. Nothing is separate. Your toxic, negative thoughts are spewing garbage into our source. All right? We're one. It has to end. What you use, what you promote, what you share, what you believe, your arguments are either part of the insanity or you're stepping away and realizing you are the sane person in the insane asylum. This is not an easy task. You can step out of it. Now, here's how you do it. More people are going into the actually stepping outside of it and realize that all of it is programming. I say lies, but it's somebody's reality somewhere. Separation, judgment, it's all low frequency. If you are in conflict or oppose anyone or think of yourself separate from anyone, including, one of my subscribers, I know you're going to hear this, black hats, white hats, they did this, they took over. I said, that's insanity. That's insanity. Somebody's telling you an insane story and you're in the insane asylum starting to believe it. Everything's possible. You just get to choose that reality. So what do you want to choose? I know it's tough. Some of you have said it's tough to get out of the negative thinking. That's because you're surrounded by it, you're listening to it, you're watching it. And you're programmed by it. It's not your fault. You came into a world that programmed you, and you have the oneness, that higher self is always there. You're never disconnected from it. But there are so many veils between you and it that you can't even imagine what it's like. And when you open up the veils, and that's what's happening right now, you will see amazing things and a power beyond your imagination that you are, and you'll realize all of it was made up. All of it. It's all illusion. And it's all me, the creator. I am the creator, the creation, and the created. I'm all these things at once. We'd go insane if we really, truly understood that. So don't try to. And that's the knowing, is I know it, but I don't have to understand it anymore, because it's beyond my role as a human being to have that information. However, once I know it, I can never go back. You're totally responsible now for everything, including our future. Now, remote viewers. Stefan Schwartz on New Thinking Aloud. You know I love Jeffrey Mishlove. Some of it's just, sorry Jeffrey, some of it's really, really, eyes glazed over kind of stuff. They're going on philosophy and all this stuff, but it's very scientifically based. He talks to people who are investigating, researching, doing stuff, and they come up with some really interesting things. And not all of it's true, of course, but he tries to go into the realm of more factual scientific, and one is Stefan Schwartz, who is one of the top remote viewers in the world and actually worked for the government, big organizations, because it was used in a negative way. Yeah, where are the missiles? Where are the whatever? You say, oh, that's positive. No, it's really not. However, he has since he away from the government, really explored this in other ways. How can we affect the planet in a positive way? So remote viewing is really viewing the future. Now, he took thousands of people, just thousands of people, and picked a date and time where they are and asked them to see that future and to describe it. There was a consistent answer. And here's what it is. I'm going to share with you. There is something huge, a huge shift in 2045 to about 2050. He said something big, and no, Jeffrey Mishlove asked, is it a nuclear blast? Is it some kind of war or what? And the answer is no. In fact, no one has seen that in our future at all. It's not going to happen. Why? Possible that our extraterrestrial neighbors probably won't allow that to happen. We've gone to the tipping point where they can interfere on some level because it's going to affect them way out there, okay? In the physical world, because we're connected anyways. So he said that he absolutely, no one ever saw that. And so he shared that it would be more of a lifestyle situation where we would be living in smaller communities. I've talked to you about this. We're already doing it. Smaller communities where we make our own stuff. We work locally. We're self-sustainable because it's easier in small communities. There's no shipping in, trucking from the other side of the country. He did say the shorelines would be underwater, but that's gradual. That's not a overnight thing. Japan and Europe are going to have the same shoreline starting to disappear. Why? Because, the icebergs are melting and the waters are going up. That's just logical. So people will start to move inland. That's okay. Our planet has changed geographically many, many times and continues to evolve. Nothing stays the same. Everybody, it's changing. Well, no crap. All right? So, and so he said that we would be fossil fuels, we wouldn't be using those anymore, and that they were going to have technology that instead of like batteries for electronic, batteries, like I'm having all kinds of issues with batteries, that everything would be recharged. Like the roadways, maybe he said this was one possibility, maybe the roadways automatically charge cars or vehicles, whatever vehicles we used at that time. It was all really positive. It was just a new way of life that was more organic. And he said that more hospitals were quiet, that they were places of healing and peace, not of craziness and pharmaceuticals, and that we would have more knowledge and we would use it in a natural way. We're going into a golden era. We're going into a golden era. Now, I want you to know something. If you're contributing to pointing fingers, call it, people are evil or whatever, you're not comprehending. I want you to read the book. You're not comprehending what you are and what we are, and that these things you shall do and more. This you do to the least of us, you do to me, because we are one. Because that least of us is me. Who's me? Christ said that. The one source of everything. The power of which flows through Christ, flows through all of us, is the one thing, not above one another. There is no above one another. It's a choice of a frequency. So you can choose to be on a higher frequency, and that's when we go through the illusion on the other side of being, archangels and protectors and stuff. We have our own roles over there, and I know this is going to be a little bit foreign to some of you that think that, okay, well, over there's the real world. It isn't. It's more real than here. But there's still illusions taking place. Think about this. Anything we create is an illusion of the one source that's just light and power and love. It's just energy. It's intelligence and unconditional love. It's light. That's the ultimate. So when we talk about this, we're talking about basically is the more we go into high frequency, the more we connect to the oneness. And that's all answers, all power, everything you can possibly imagine. And so the other things that are challenging you in your life right now become unimportant. Now, I just had a meeting with a student of mine, and I said, it doesn't mean that we stop feeling. We chose to experience these feelings to no contrast. So pain, sadness. Now, I just got a text from a friend who said that one of our dear friends, who's quite young, is in the hospital in ICU and has literally very little time here on this planet. And I believe miracles are possible. We've seen it over and over again. And if she decides to leave, that'll be her choice. She's going to something pretty amazing. But I looked at her life and I thought, we are all here for her. And I shot a video and I let her know that we always were. And we get so caught up in life, and sometimes we don't reach out to one another. And sometimes we see other people as an enemy, or we take sides, or somebody did this and somebody did that, and you stop talking to somebody. And that's ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying you have to hang out with people that you're not resonating with. But I think it's time for us to start reaching out and be a community. And do surround yourself with like-minded people who are not going to separate themselves as, oh, it's our group and everybody else is the other one. It's that everyone's welcome. You have to step into that. And if you don't, you will not live in the world that's unfolding right now. It's impossible. And so those people will exit and dissolve. Some might just, die. I'm just going to say it. A lot of people are going to die. The old guard is going to dissolve. They're getting older and they are probably never going to pull out of their density. That's the world they know, and they're in power, and what they believe is power, that's not power. Power is now transferring over to the unseen world that is all the power. And we actually create within that power. It's not the material world. We're creating the material world with this. So when you go in here, you're creating that. And it's not me getting stuff because that's going to make me happy, or I need money, or win the lottery. It's the total opposite. Every morning I send light and love to this planet. I do it many times a day as I can, unconditional. I send it to the nastiest pieces of you-know-what on this planet as humans, because I know they're really light beings playing something out. Can I be the unconditional love no matter what? This is your test. And so you don't have to like it, and you don't have to hang out with it, and you certainly don't have to approve of it. In fact, we're speaking up now and saying, it's not okay in my world. You can't play in my world if you're going to do that, and we have to put things in place that are going to change how things are being done, which means you can't participate anymore in the world that's destructive. Are you ready for that? This is what's happening. 2050, 2060, pretty much just continued on in a more unified, beautiful world. This is what remote viewers are seeing. Now, the remote viewer had Stefan Schwartz. I saw an interview with him once, and he said that they actually stopped trying to look into the future because the thoughts and beliefs of the remote viewer, because it was something in the future, not where missiles are being housed, it would change. What does that tell you? We can create our future based on our own beliefs. So if I believe the future, we're going to golden era, that's exactly what I'm going to experience. You have to really believe it. You have to know it. And it is true, because all probabilities exist. There are no limits. It's not, there are 5 dimensions. No, there's 10, there's 12. There are unlimited dimensions, and there's no separation between them. It's actually just one thing. It's just frequencies. And it's all connected. It's just all connected. It's all just different experiences. You get to choose yours. So do you want to go into love and light? Then you got to focus just on that. Love and light, unconditional. I don't have to understand it all. You won't. You just know that you're here to experience it, and you have a job to do, a mission. What is your mission? Raise your frequency. You have to put all things aside. You have to start living a simpler life if you want to participate, because that life is simpler. It is happier. It's not cluttered with stuff that's never going to make you happy. It's a world where we share because everybody will be taken care of. Not in a socialist kind of way. People are fearing that, and that's programming too. Well, if you believe that, then you're going into socialist, which means you're being controlled. No, it's the opposite of that. And of course, there are institutions and organizations that want you to think that that unified way is a controlling cult kind of thing. It's so not. In fact, we're not going to go into this cult kind of stuff. We are going to be more individuals that get to make our own choices and do things that we love. Anybody who wants to come over to Digital Explorers, I'm creating that. I'm showing business owners how to create planet-conscious businesses. It could be anything, products, services, coaching, anything. We help you find it. We help you create that thing that you love. Even if you don't know what it is, we find it. We create multiple income streams, and everything we do contributes to this planet and other people in a positive way, and you. And you will explode with passion, purpose, and positive impact. Yeah, and then we have profits and prosperity. That comes because everyone will live that way when we function that way. So I'm paving the way for how we create online businesses. Are you ready to join us? Yes, this was a spiritual butt kick, because I love you so much, And you're that special, and you're that perfect, and you're that important, and you have no limitations. And you must learn from the experiences that you chose here before you can move on to the really fun, easier stuff. You have to get the lesson from that first. Don't miss that challenge. It is an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity, and it doesn't always feel good. Be okay with that. That's when we break through fear. If you read my book, I show you that fear can be used in a positive way. It's just another emotion. It's just another experience. We break through it. We become triumphant, beautiful, amazing light beings. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.